Yeah, so the Federal Reserve has called their meeting very late this month. I'm not sure the exact date, but it is the late 20s, so it'll be the end of this month with, I guess, respect to normally it is the very start of the month, as the RBA always is, and the ECB is generally the same. But I think it will be 75 basis points. A lot of the market is pricing that in. We saw two of the Federal Reserve's most hawkish policymakers come out and back a 75 basis point rate increase this month. So on the most hawkish side, they're saying 75 basis points. They also actually played down fears of US recession as well in the very short term. So again, bit of positivity there. I think markets are pricing that in. I think especially coming from the most hawkish side of things there. So I think markets are currently pricing in about a 94% chance of a 75 basis point rate increase, which I think we will see. But I think, again, the fact that the markets had plenty of time to price that in, we could see some positive movements later this month. Now, with regards to the S&P 500 and just US performance in general, I might pull up a chart just so you can see here the first signs of positivity. I guess when we look at that on a technical basis, a little bit of a rebound and some positivity. If you look at that just straight technically, it has made a higher low. I think we could come and test that high at that mid-Donchian level in coming trading sessions. But again, there's a few signs of positivity across US markets that I want to touch on. And first, the one is that the amount of short selling across US markets has decreased quite substantially in June. Although it still increased $20 billion, that was down from a $61 billion increase in May. So the amount of short positions, I'll pull up a chart here. You can see here shows the month-on-month change in short positions in the US, and that is more than halved. So again, one of the first signs of positivity is, again, a lot less people are shorting the market, and that's going to be one of the first telling signs that we could start to see a bit of a bottom out and some positive movements. And another one is looking at options markets. Now, there's one options measure which is known as skew, and that has also collapsed. So bearish options that are tied to the S&P 500 have also grown relatively less expensive than the bullish ones, which would pay out if stocks rose. So options markets, short markets, really giving us some positive indications moving forward. And I think also I love speaking about statistics, and we have seen, I spoke last week about the fact that when the S&P 500 drops more than 15% in the first half, it has risen on average 24% in the second half. So that's the last 15 times the S&P 500 has fallen 15%, and that's according to Dow Jones market data. So there's a lot of positive tells at the moment that they could potentially be near the bottom. I guess no one's going to be able to pick it. But there has also been a lot more positive sentiment towards risk on as well, and I think that's been highlighted through the positivity in the tech sector in recent weeks. We've seen a lot of positive movements in our own local tech sector on the ASX 300, but also when we look at the US markets, I guess that's one of the first signs that there is, I guess, the market bottoming out is a very strong push towards that risk-on side of the market. And we've seen in the US that FANG basket of stocks, when you look at your Facebooks, your Amazons, Tesla's involved with that as well. They've seen $700 million of retail inflow in the last week. So again, there's 3 or 4 positive signs that there is a little bit of, I guess, optimism in the markets for equities at the moment. And I think moving forward, we can continue to see a bit of positivity, which would be good.
Very